Hi, this is Dr. Rahul Pandya from IIT Dharwad. In today's episode, we'll learn how to upload the preprint on the ArXiv portal. Let's go to my screen and see how we can do that. As you can see on my screen, this is the ArXiv portal. Firstly, you will have to log into your account. I've already created an account. You can create with your own ID and password. Let's log in there. Once you log in, this is how the portal looks like. Sometimes, if you are a new user, you need an endorsement from the senior researcher. So you may have to reach out to your colleague or maybe other senior researcher who can endorse you. After doing that, this is how the account looks like. Here there will be the basic details such as your email ID, your affiliation, where you work, what are your groups of interest or area of research where you can upload, and then you can proceed forward with the other details. If you have previously uploaded any of the preprints, they'll be appearing here. The entire list will be here. The motivation of today's episode is to learn how to upload the preprint on this portal. Let's click on Start a New Submission. Let's click on Start a New Submission. When we do that, it will bring you to this particular session where you can check the basic details, and I can click on I certify that my name and other details are correct. After that, you'll have to click on the terms and conditions. Please go through these read-only terms and conditions. Read them carefully and then accept. Once you do this, there is a disclosure on the authorship. You can say that I am submitting as the author of this article or whatever is applicable. Then select a particular license type. Let's understand one or two licenses, then you can have an idea which license type has to be selected. Let's say if I'm clicking on the CC BY, what it means, you can click on this I icon and see this license allows users to redistribute, remix, adapt and build upon the material in any medium or format. And they have to credit the original author or this attribution to this creator, and they have to cite this and give the credit to them. However, this allows all types of usage, including the commercial purposes also. So it's kind of much more flexible license for the open domain so that anyone can use it freely. However, let's say you want to restrict your others' usages based on your preferences. So generally, I prefer to go with perpetual license. So here you can see this license, particularly archive.org perpetual license. This is non-exclusive license. And it gives the limited rights to distribute the article and limited reusage in any of the type or for any individual can use it with certain limitations, and definitely they have to sign. Let's go with this particular license type. After that, you have to select the particular archive and subject class. In this, you check in which field you are working. For an example, if I'm working in the computer science, I might select computer science. If I'm working in the electrical, I'll select electrical engineering or maybe mathematics, physics. Check there are multiple categories, whichever is applicable. You please select that. I'll select electrical engineering and system science. Click on that. After that, the sub-area, the sub-domain of this, I'll select signal processing. You select whatever is applicable to your field. Once we do that, now we have to upload all the files. Once we do that, now we have to upload all the files. You can prepare your overlay for LaTeX based file first. Once your preprint is ready, once your manuscript is ready, you have to come here. Please note, once you upload or when you upload, there can be certain errors which this portal may show. You have to resolve them one by one, and it may take a couple of hours sometimes. So prepare for that and keep resolving one by one, but it works. Let's go through this. I have my preprint ready, which I'll take it from this folder and upload. Once I've selected, I'll click on upload file. Once I upload this, so it will go through and ask me to check the file. So these are the files, and after that you have to click on check files. So it is starting to check all the files that everything is correct, all the formats, it is satisfying all the formatting requirements. Are there any errors? It may show some errors also, and we may have to resolve it one by one. So it shows this, all the files are nice, and it is saying that I have to accept and continue. So I'll click on accept and continue. Once I click on accept and continue, I may go to the next stage of the upload. It might take sometimes few seconds based on your connectivity and the portal speed, how quickly it is performing. Now you can review your PDF. Also, let's say I'll click on my PDF, preview your PDF. So here you can see that this is how the preprint looks like. The advantage of the preprint is we get the timestamp here. You can see 12th April 2026, right? So this is uploaded on this particular date. So I can see the timestamp, and that's how it looks like, right? And then after that, you can go through other details, which I see perfect. Submission is okay. After that, click on continue. It might ask some metadata to enter, such as title, authors, and abstract. There are three metadata, which is these three information are. We have to enter that, which is mandatory here. So I'll just copy my title here. You can copy from your manuscript. Subsequently, copy all the authors, those who are contributing to this particular article. Then you can select your abstract and copy there. There are other fields, but which are not mandatory. Therefore, I may leave that, and I'll click on save and continue. Once I do that, it will ask me to check my submission. So it looks good. See, this is the title, these are the authors, and this is the abstract. It is asking me to check that category again. I'll select my respective category, which is electrical engineering and system sciences here, and I'll select signal processing. You can view the PDF again if you wish. You can click on view PDF, and you can see your preprint. It will look like this. The advantage is we get the timestamp. So sometimes multiple research groups, those who are working in parallel, they might have it. And then you can click on submit, and then you can click on submit. I've already submitted this here, and which may look in my account, which may appear in my account. So here you can see this is the preprint which we were just showing. So I'll just click on that submission, what I have performed. Once you submit, this is how your preprint looks like. You can see where was it submitted, so particular date of submission, it will appear here. The title, author, abstract, everything. The beauty behind the preprint is you can upload multiple versions also. Let's say you are working, you have uploaded one version. After that, let's say after 3 months, you might enhance it. You can upload the second version too. These are the advantages. You can keep uploading, and then you can view the final PDF here. You can click on view PDF, and then you can see this is how the print looks like. Right, this entire paper looks like. Now, let's see, some of them, they have a question, what is preprint, which we have covered in the previous video, which I'll tag with this particular video. You can go through the entire video where we have covered the theory behind the preprints, but I'll quickly introduce here also. Preprints are generally the manuscripts which are unpublished through the journals or any publisher. These are in progress work, or maybe we can say the first draft is ready and we are uploading to a particular publisher for a publication. However, that publisher may take maybe 3 to 6 months based on the process, and in the meantime we have to keep waiting. Now, let's say we want to reach to the larger research community and we want to get the feedback. So what we do is we upload that preprint on this arXiv portal, and it is available to all the researchers, the entire research community. The advantage of this is we get the comments from them, feedback from them, and then we can improve our work further. Second, this is a citable document so that people can cite, and it will appear on your Google Scholar also. For an example, let's say I'll show this preprint available on my Google Scholar. Here you can see this one, and you can click on that, and people can cite this, right? When you click on this, it will come directly to this preprint, and it is citable. So people can cite this from these preprints. So you get the early citations. That is good for the early visibility, and you may increase your citation counts also, right? So these are the advantages of preprints, and mostly all the publishers, they allow to upload the preprints these days. So you may take a look the publisher's policy, and accordingly you can take a decision. There is one caveat. If you're planning to file the patents, avoid uploading the preprints, because first you have to file the patents, right? So once the preprint is uploaded, mostly patent cannot be filed. So be careful with that. If you're planning for patents, publishing a patent, do not upload on the preprint. However, on the other hand, there are certain advantages which we discussed, and for that you can upload the preprints. So this is how this entire portal looks like, and you may take the advantage of these preprint portals, right? So that's all we have for today, and in the next video we'll take another platform which is called Research Square, and then we'll see how to upload the preprint there. In the meantime, keep watching and keep learning. See you in the next video. Bye bye.